Welcome to another episode of the Movies with Emotion podcast. Today I want to cover why I attend the wedding rehearsal the night before and why I think it's so important. I don't know if every wedding videographer does this, but this is something that I include in my packages. It's something that I include in my services for my clients and my couples, and that is attending the wedding rehearsal the night before the wedding. There are many reasons why I do this, but the main reason is to become assimilated with the process of the day, knowing exactly what all the moving parts are, who all the people are, where people are standing. I want to be as prepared as possible to capture your day, capture your wedding to the best of my abilities. And to do that, for me anyway, I want to attend the wedding rehearsal so I can get completely comfortable with what is going to happen the next day. One of the first things I look for is where people are going to stand. Wedding parties vary in size and the venues vary in size and space. Some wedding venues have a bunch of space and a lot of people can stand in a big area. Other places are a lot more cramped, and if they have a big wedding party, that presents challenges. So there are many different options as far as what I'm looking for when I attend the wedding rehearsal. So this first one here, you can see we have a pretty good sized wedding party. We had 9 or 10 bridesmaids and groomsmen. The bride and groom here are standing up on an elevated stage. So it's a little more challenging of where I can put a camera. I usually shoot with more than one camera, and I'm going to go over that in a future podcast, so stay tuned for that, where I put cameras and how I use them. So that'll be coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But in this case, this was a fairly good-sized church. We had a lot of room to move. And as you can see, we have bridesmaids stacked over here, groomsmen stacked over here, and the bride and groom right in the middle on this elevated stage. They also had some balconies that you can kind of see up here, and you can't really see it over here, but this balcony right over here in the side of the screen wraps all the way around the church. And I was able to put 2 cameras on either side from up in the balcony, and that was able to cover the bride and groom as they were given their vows. This camera angle that I've got right now that you're looking at is my camera on a gimbal that I'm standing in the middle aisle capturing the main wedding part of it. As we go through, you'll notice we fade over to one of the cameras up in the balcony area. This shot would have been impossible from down on the floor. Had I been down on the floor, I would have been standing over in this area somewhere, and there's no way I could have seen the bride from that angle with all these guys standing there, because these guys are all tall, they're all pretty big guys, and there's just no way I could get that angle. So had I not gone to the rehearsal, I wouldn't have known there was this many people standing up here. I would have had to shoot from the hip and try to make a decision with no context whatsoever. And that's one of the big things of why I go to rehearsal, because I want to know exactly what I'm dealing with, so the day of I don't have any surprises. I don't have any hiccups. The recording will be stellar because I was prepared. As we go through here, you can see that I was able to switch to different camera angles, get really good views of the bride and groom, and being able to know that that angle was going to work from up in the balcony, that I could put a camera up in the balcony, and the specific location I needed to put that camera made for the final video to be absolutely beautiful. The second example is another wedding that I did where the couple decided to do a unity ceremony. Not the unity candle, but they did the sand ceremony where they pour 2 colors of sand into a jar and they intermix and become one. That's a popular unity ceremony in today's weddings. So in this case, during rehearsal, they walked back to simulate what they were going to do here. And at first, they were standing with their backs directly towards me, which means I can't see what they're doing. I can't see the sand. I can't see them picking up the jars. I can't see any of that. So that's another reason I go to rehearsal, because as I'm going through and I'm watching everything go, I offer suggestions and I offer my opinion, and I jump in if I see something that could enhance it and make it better or make it easier for me and for the camera or the photographer. So in this case, whenever they went up there, they were standing with their back straight to me. I had everybody pause for just a second at rehearsal and said, hey, you guys, if you could separate when you do this, that way we can see the sand ceremony and we can capture that, because otherwise all you're going to see is your backs. And they were more than happy to do that, and we were able to capture that important part of their wedding ceremony. So that's another reason I go to rehearsal, is to offer feedback and offer input to make the day go smoother, make my job easier, make it easier for the photographer, etc. So that's another reason I go. I also get to know the people really well at rehearsal, and I can kind of get a rapport with them and make them more comfortable. They know I'm there. I can talk directly to them. I can put their mind at ease a little bit, let them know exactly what's going to happen, exactly what I'm going to be doing, exactly what I'm going to be, where I'm going to be standing. And I think it helps put them at ease, so the next day they don't have any surprises and I'm not running around getting in the way or distracting from their big day. So that's another reason I go. So this next example is a unity candle ceremony that they did, and they have 3 kids, and they wanted the full family to be up there for the unity candle. Now this is something that they practiced at rehearsal, and there again, it was one of those things where I knew it was coming, I knew it was going to happen, so I was prepared to capture it. That's one of the biggest reasons why I go to rehearsal. I want to know what I need to capture, because it's my job to capture that, and it's my job to get it. And like I said before, once a wedding starts, it does not stop. You cannot have everybody pause because I'm in the wrong spot, or I didn't realize this was going to happen, or, whatever the case may be. I want to know exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. As they were getting ready for the wedding and setting up the final wedding stuff, these tables and the DJ back here and the main table that's right over here next to this side greenery right here, it was a question of where that needed to go and where people needed to stand. Since I was at the rehearsal, I knew what they had in store or what they had in mind. So being able to know ahead of time what's going to happen, how the couple wanted it set up, what's the best option, helps me communicate with the other vendors, with the photographer, with the DJ in this case, letting him know that he couldn't set up in a certain place because it would be in the way. Just little things like that. It helps me communicate with the vendors. It helps, the more the vendors know and the more everybody's on the same page, the smoother everything goes and the better end product you're going to have. So being able to do that for my clients is huge. Being a wedding videographer, it's also important for me to know where everything's at, because once the wedding starts, the video is rolling and it doesn't stop until the end of it. If I come in the day of the wedding with no prep and I didn't go to rehearsal and I have no idea where to set up, and I set a camera up guessing where something might be, I could very well set up a camera that's going to be blocked by somebody or something or the wedding party or something like that. Once the camera's rolling, I don't have much control over it. Going to rehearsal, I know exactly where my angles are. I know exactly where stuff's at. So it helps me immensely to be prepared for what's coming and know that I can make adjustments accordingly to make sure I capture their day to the best of my abilities. And probably the last option of why I go to rehearsal is to introduce myself to the family, introduce myself to all the pieces and all the people that will be taking part in this amazing ceremony and this amazing day. I meet the mother and father of the bride and groom. I meet the pastor or the officiant. I meet all the groomsmen and bridesmaids. Everybody knows who I am by the end of rehearsal. And I think that helps put everybody at ease as well. The next day, when everything gets rolling, everything is moving at lightning speed on the wedding day. So we don't have time to be messing around. And the more comfortable everybody is with me from rehearsal, the better everything's going to go. I can tell the groom that he's going to have a mic on the wedding day. I can talk to the officiant and make sure that he or she is okay with having a mic on, so I can capture the audio. If they don't want to wear a mic or they have some kind of issue with it, then I need to come up with a different plan to capture that audio. So that's another reason I go to rehearsal, so I can figure all that out. I don't like surprises. I don't like flying by the seat of my pants. I'm a planner. I need to know what's going on, how it's going to happen, where I need to be, and what I need to do. And doing that, I can capture the best possible product for my clients. I can capture their wedding in the best possible way and make it a beautiful film for them. I want to deliver the best possible product to my couples. And if that means I have to give up my evening the night before to attend the wedding rehearsal, then that's what I do, because I care about my couples and I want to give them the best possible product. If anybody has any questions, or if you'd like more information, please email me, reach out. I'm always happy to answer questions. And until next time, I will talk to you later. Bye.